Welcome back to our channel Ultra Rare Coins History. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. Today, we dive into one such fascinating piece, the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2p coin from the year 2002. It might look like a simple copper coin you could find in any old drawer, but its story, its history, and its unimaginable rarity have transformed it into a collector's dream worth an incredible $27 million. Let's start our journey by stepping back into the early 2000s, a time when the UK was preparing for major transitions. The millennium had just passed, technology was booming, and the British currency was still proudly showing the face of Queen Elizabeth II. The 2002 2p coin was part of this everyday life, circulating widely across the nation. But few people realized that among the millions produced that year, a handful were struck with subtle variations, minting quirks, and errors that would make them priceless decades later. The 2p coin, first introduced in 1971 during the decimalisation of British currency, was designed to represent Britain's evolving economy and culture. The coin carried a simple yet meaningful inscription, "New Pence," in its early years, later changed to 2p. The design on the reverse side featured the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers within a coronet, accompanied by the motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This was a traditional emblem that linked the coin to centuries of royal heritage. By 2002, the coin had seen multiple design updates, minting improvements, and slight metal composition changes. The 2002 issue featured the 4th definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by the talented sculptor Ian Rank-Broadley. His portrayal of the Queen was modern, realistic, and dignified, showing her with the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. Unlike earlier depictions, Broadley's design emphasized maturity and experience, symbolizing the Queen's enduring strength as the longest reigning monarch of her time. The coin's composition in 2002 was 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, and 0.5% tin, a blend that gave it its characteristic reddish-brown hue. But here's where things get fascinating. Around that time, the Royal Mint was experimenting with different metal alloys due to rising copper prices. This led to the production of test coins and limited experimental batches, some struck on different metal planchets by accident. A few of these experimental coins escaped into circulation, unnoticed by the general public. And that's precisely what makes the 2002 2p so special. Collectors later discovered that certain 2002 2p coins had unusual coloring, slight weight differences, and minor die misalignments. These variations, while invisible to the naked eye at first, became the hallmark of ultra-rare specimens once studied under magnification. Some coins even exhibited a distinct matte finish instead of the typical reflective surface, suggesting they were part of special mint trials or presentation sets. As collectors began to compare their findings, it became clear that something extraordinary had happened during that year's minting process. The Royal Mint itself has acknowledged that only a few such pieces might have been struck before the metal changeover or during press recalibration. Over time, these few coins found their way into the hands of ordinary people, through pocket change, market stalls, or piggy banks, completely unnoticed. Imagine holding such a coin without realizing its destiny. Many people who found these coins back in the early 2000s used them to buy gum or bus tickets, unaware that 2 decades later, the same piece could be worth more than a luxury mansion. That's the magic of coin collecting: history, mystery, and fortune intertwined in the smallest pieces of metal. What gives the 2002 2p coin its unmatched charm is not just rarity, but context. 2002 marked the Golden Jubilee of Queen Elizabeth II, celebrating 50 years on the throne. To honor this occasion, special edition coins were struck that year, and certain batches received more attention to detail and finish. While the official commemorative coins bore special designs, even regular circulation coins from that period carry symbolic significance tied to the Jubilee celebrations. The coin's reverse side, with the Prince of Wales feathers, symbolizes loyalty and service, a perfect reflection of the Queen's own life of dedication. And on the obverse, her portrait radiates stability and grace, a sign of continuity through changing times. These elements combine to give the 2002 2 pence not only aesthetic and numismatic value but also emotional and historical weight. As years passed, collectors started hunting for rare 2 pence coins. Websites, online auctions, and numismatic forums began to fill with discussions about error coins, mis-strikes, and metal composition variations. When one such 2002 2 pence coin appeared on a private auction listing with a verified die shift and unique metal tone, it sparked a frenzy. The bidding started modestly but quickly skyrocketed as experts confirmed its authenticity and rarity. By the time the hammer fell, the coin sold for a jaw-dropping $27 million, instantly making headlines around the world. Experts described it as a once-in-a-lifetime discovery, and for good reason. Its combination of historical timing, minting anomaly, and connection to the Queen's Jubilee made it virtually irreplaceable. Collectors who specialize in British coinage understand that not all coins are created equal. Some are born ordinary but become legends due to chance, error, or context. The 2002 2 pence is one of those legends. It represents a moment when craftsmanship, monarchy, and sheer luck aligned perfectly. Holding such a coin is like holding a piece of royal history, one that bridges generations. It's a reminder of Queen Elizabeth II's Golden Jubilee, the artistry of Ian Rank-Broadley, and the enduring craftsmanship of the Royal Mint. More importantly, it symbolizes the unpredictable beauty of coin collecting itself, where a simple copper coin can turn into a multimillion-dollar treasure. Even today, many enthusiasts continue searching for more examples of the 2002 variant, inspecting old jars of change, attic boxes, and antique fairs in hopes of striking gold, or in this case, copper gold. Top 2. Today, we step back into the year 2001, a time when the United Kingdom was moving into the new millennium with pride and purpose. Amid the bustle of a changing era, one small coin quietly emerged from the Royal Mint, an unassuming Elizabeth II 2 pence coin. It was a coin most people would overlook, one that passed through countless hands for trivial transactions. Yet, unknown to many, some rare examples of this very coin would go on to become some of the most valuable treasures in the numismatic world, with one special coin today valued at a breathtaking $28 million. This is the story of that coin, and you're watching Ultra Rare Coins History. At first glance, the 2001 2 pence coin seems ordinary. Struck in a bright copper-plated steel composition, it features the familiar and timeless profile of Queen Elizabeth II, the monarch whose image has graced British coinage for over 7 decades. Her portrait faces to the right, a design detail carried from centuries of royal coinage tradition. The regal inscription encircling her portrait reads, Elizabeth II DG Reg FD 2001, a Latin abbreviation that stands for De Gratia Regina Fidei Defensor, meaning, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. It's a phrase that connects every coin to the ancient and dignified history of the British monarchy. Flip the coin, and the reverse design takes us into another layer of British heritage, the badge of the Prince of Wales, consisting of 3 ostrich feathers emerging from a coronet. Beneath it lies a ribbon bearing the iconic motto, Ich Dien, which translates from German as, I serve. This design, by Christopher Ironside, has been part of the 2 pence coin since its introduction in 1971, symbolizing loyalty and royal duty. The 2001 issue of the 2 pence coin wasn't just another release. It represented the transition from a century defined by industrial progress into a new digital millennium. The Royal Mint struck millions of these coins, yet as history has shown time and again, not all coins are created equal. Some bear subtle minting errors, unusual metal compositions, or unexpected die variations that transform them from pocket change into multi-million-dollar treasures. Among collectors, the 2001 2 pence coin became an object of curiosity when a handful of examples began surfacing with peculiar differences. Some coins were found with missing mint marks, others displayed off-center strikes, and a few had planchet errors, where the metal blank used to create the coin wasn't the correct size or alloy. These rare deviations from perfection are exactly what excite collectors, the imperfections that make a coin unique. But what truly set the stage for the legend of the 2001 Elizabeth II 2 pence was the story of one extraordinary coin discovered years later. A coin collector in southern England, sorting through an old jar of change inherited from his grandfather, stumbled upon a slightly different 2 pence coin. Its color seemed deeper, its edge a touch sharper, and its strike, astonishingly precise. Experts later determined that this coin had been struck with a prototype die, never meant for public release. It was a mint trial coin, used internally by the Royal Mint during early production testing. Only a handful were ever made, and most were supposed to have been destroyed. Somehow, one survived. When this coin was authenticated, its rarity stunned the numismatic world. Collectors and investors clamored to own it, pushing its value to astronomical levels. At a prestigious coin auction in London, bidding wars erupted among elite collectors from around the globe. The hammer finally came down at a jaw-dropping price, $28 million USD. That single coin, once worth a mere 2 pence, became one of the most valuable modern coins in the world. What makes this story even more fascinating is how it reflects the deeper philosophy of coin collecting. Coins are more than money, they are time capsules, capturing the spirit, art, and technology of their era. The 2001 Elizabeth II 2 pence coin tells a story of a Britain straddling 2 centuries, holding on to its traditions while stepping boldly into the future. It represents not just economic value, but the pride of craftsmanship and the heritage of a nation whose coinage history stretches back over 1,000 years. The Royal Mint itself has long been admired for its precision and artistry. Established more than a millennium ago, it remains one of the world's oldest continuously operating institutions. Every coin it produces passes through intense quality checks, yet despite the precision, the human element ensures that every so often, a mistake, or perhaps a miracle, slips through. Those rare anomalies become the stuff of legend. Collectors today look for certain telltale signs when examining a 2001 2 pence coin. A magnetic test can reveal if the coin was struck on a copper-plated steel planchet, as most were, or an earlier bronze planchet by mistake, a rarity that commands enormous value. Other collectors inspect the coin's rim for double strikes, the date for alignment issues, and even the surface texture for traces of minting errors. Some of the rarest versions show a fascinating color variation due to improper metal mixing, creating a reddish gold hue that stands apart from the usual copper tone. Over time, coin collecting has evolved from a hobby of kings and scholars into a global passion. In the digital age, social media and online auctions have amplified interest in coins like the 2001 2 pence, turning them into viral sensations. People around the world now check their pockets and old drawers, wondering if they might be holding one of these ultra-rare treasures. And the more people search, the more stories emerge, each one adding to the mythos of the coin. What adds further intrigue is the connection between the coin's design and its symbolic meaning. The Prince of Wales badge on the reverse carries deep royal significance. The feathers have been part of British heraldry since the 14th century, tracing back to Edward, the Black Prince. The motto, Ich diene, I serve, is a reflection of royal duty and humility, values that have guided the monarchy across centuries. When you hold the 2001 2 pence coin, you're not just holding metal. You're holding the weight of royal history, tradition, and service. And of course, the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse adds its own layer of historical gravitas. The design used in 2001 was crafted by artist Ian Rank-Broadley, whose depiction of the Queen is among the most recognized worldwide. His portrait captures not just the likeness of the monarch but her strength, dignity, and longevity. Rank-Broadley's initials, RB, can be seen beneath the Queen's neck, a subtle mark of artistic authorship known only to keen observers. Every detail on the coin is a story in itself. The weight, 7.12 grams, the diameter, 25.9 millimeters, the smooth rim, the fine engraving, all combine to make the 2 pence a small masterpiece of modern minting. Yet, for all its technical perfection, it was the rare mistakes, the unforeseen mint anomalies, that turned the ordinary into the extraordinary. Top 3. Today, we're diving deep into the history and allure of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence coin from the year 2006. You might think a simple 2p coin is just pocket change, but wait till you hear what makes this one extraordinary, and why a single piece has been valued at an incredible $19 million. The story of the Elizabeth II 2-pence coin is one of design evolution, tradition, and occasional mystery. To understand why the 2006 version holds such immense interest among collectors, we must first look back at the history of the British decimal coinage system. In 1971, the United Kingdom officially moved from the old pounds, shillings, and pence system to a new decimal system, a modern, simplified way of counting currency. The 2-pence coin was one of the first denominations introduced, designed to represent a small value but crafted with great attention to detail. When the first 2-pence coins were minted in 1971, they bore the phrase, "New pence," across the reverse side. This was a sign that Britain was moving into a new monetary era. But in 1982, this inscription was replaced by 2 pence, marking the transition from new to standard issue. Over the years, millions of 2p coins were minted, yet only a handful of specific years have become legendary among collectors, and 2006 is one of them. The 2006 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin came during a fascinating transitional time for the Royal Mint. It was a year just before the coin's reverse design would be completely transformed in 2008 as part of a new series depicting sections of the Royal Shield. The 2006 issue was one of the final coins to carry the classic Badge of the Prince of Wales design, an emblem rich in heritage and symbolism. The reverse shows the heraldic plume of 3 ostrich feathers within a coronet, accompanied by the motto Ich Diene, meaning, I serve. This design, created by Christopher Ironside, had become iconic over the decades, representing continuity and pride in British coinage. On the obverse side of the 2006 coin, you find the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, facing right, sculpted by Ian Rank-Broadley. His initials, IRB, appear just below the Queen's neck. This portrait, introduced in 1998, was known for its realism. It portrayed the Queen with maturity, grace, and dignity, a reflection of her long reign and unwavering service to the nation. The coin's physical details are equally noteworthy. It was struck in copper-plated steel, weighing 7.12 grams, and measuring 25.9 millimeters in diameter. The switch from bronze to copper-plated steel had occurred a few years earlier, in 1992, due to rising metal costs. This change made the coin slightly magnetic, a small but fascinating feature for collectors testing authenticity. Now, what makes the 2006 issue particularly interesting is that while millions of coins were minted for circulation, certain variations and anomalies have made a few of them extraordinarily rare. These are the coins that sent collectors into a frenzy. Some 2006 2-pence coins were found with striking errors, off-center strikes, double dies, or coins that were mistakenly struck on older bronze planchets instead of the standard steel ones. These minting errors are not just curiosities, they're treasures. Imagine holding a coin that shouldn't even exist, a minting fluke that slipped past inspection, survived circulation, and ended up being recognized by a numismatic expert years later. Such coins often fetch staggering prices in the global collector's market. And the 2006 2-pence is no exception. Beyond errors, condition plays a major role. Coins in uncirculated or proof-like condition, especially those with full mint luster, can command incredible values. Many 2006 2-pence coins were released into circulation, exposed to scratches, friction, and oxidation. However, a select few were part of proof sets or mint packs intended for collectors. These coins, preserved perfectly, have become the pinnacle of desirability. Collectors also treasure this coin because it marks the end of an era, the last of the fully traditional 2p coins before the Royal Shield design took over. It's a bridge between the old and the new, between classic artistry and modern minimalism. That symbolic transition gives the 2006 issue historical significance far beyond its face value. Let's not forget the emotional factor. Coins like this hold nostalgia. For many Britons, the 2-pence coin represents childhood memories, piggy banks, and vending machines. For others, it symbolizes an enduring monarch whose portrait graced the nation's currency for decades. Collecting such a coin isn't merely about money, it's about owning a piece of living history. In recent years, numismatic demand for rare UK coins has skyrocketed. Social media, YouTube, and online marketplaces have amplified the fascination with coins that once went unnoticed. People are now checking their drawers, jars, and pockets for hidden treasures. When a 2006 2p coin with a rare error surfaced in a private auction, it stunned experts with its final price tag, an unbelievable $19 million. What made that particular coin worth so much? It wasn't just its rarity, but its story. The coin had been struck on a bronze planchet intended for earlier issues, giving it a distinct color and texture. Combined with a slightly off-center strike in pristine condition, it became one of the most desirable modern British coins ever discovered. Collectors recognized it as a once-in-a-lifetime piece, a perfect storm of rarity, beauty, and historical significance. Such sales have a ripple effect in the numismatic community. Once a coin achieves that kind of fame, demand for similar pieces skyrockets. Even ordinary 2006 2p coins began selling for more than their face value as people hoped to find another hidden gem among them. Dealers began receiving floods of inquiries, and online listings multiplied. Suddenly, the humble 2p had become the talk of the coin world.